We call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Ray Hussey.
Travis Lassiter.
Christine Wells.
Matt Train.
Pledge of Allegiance. The flag is right here now. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any conflicts of interest to declare at this time?
Unloaded at this time.
All right, approval of December 8th, 2025 agenda.
I'll make a motion, we approve the agenda.
Madam Chair, I would second that with an amendment to moving item 12 just before item 8 at the request of the presenter due to medical reason.
Sure. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, approval of the November 3rd, 2025 meeting minutes.
I'll make a promotion, we approve the minutes of the 2020, or December, excuse me, I'll get it right, 2025 November meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. The approval of November 19th, 2025 special meeting minutes.
I'd make a motion to approve the November 19, 2025 special meeting minutes.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. Committee reports, animal control.
Chair and board, just to give you a heads up, y'all know that I've visited with Margaret on the animal ordinance, the dog ordinance, number 2013-002. We visited with Battle Mountain Humane Society, the director over there, and after that meeting, it seems that our ordinance is significantly out of date and needs to be updated. Probably could be just done in about 3 pages, and so I'd like for us to establish a animal control committee, which is going to have Margaret, myself, unless somebody else wants to do it from the board, Battle Mountain Humane Society, and anyone from the public who'd like to be a part of navigating through the dog ordinance and updating it so that it's brought into compliance with Custer County and for what our needs are as a town.
Is that something we need to vote on, or is it just administrative? Do we need to vote on the committee, or?
I would say that saying that they're part of the committee that puts a report coming from them, just like you would from the finance officer or something like that. Other than that, there's no fight, there's no pain, there's none of that. It's all done as a volunteer committee.
All right.
You know, we're kind of wanting to involve the community a little bit to assess the needs of the community and what the community wants and what they need as far as animal control.
Okay.
Yep. So you know, submitting a public notice for the meetings is something that will happen so that we can at least have those conversations, and anyone from the public will be available as well to comment.
So you're gonna have some standing dates. Do you need help with communication, or?
The committee would just be the town to be able to do the notifications. I don't see us needing to do an extra notification. Anytime we do notification for our meetings, we can make sure that we're in line with everything laid out for those, so there's not an extra publication needed.
Awesome. Any comments on, or anyone want to join the committee? The animal control committee?
I need to do this. I'm very deaf. Can you guys just speak a little bit louder? You don't
Sure.
have to yell. I'm struggling.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm good. You don't have to get more.
Any further
Unless they
discussion
do.
on that? You think? No?
Nope.
All right, good. Okay, so then next we will, we'll go down to water and sanitation department.
Water, so far things are looking good. I went and took my exams on second, third, and fourth. Took my test. I won't find out the results for a week to 10 days. And Tuesday. I'll be going up and getting the screen put on the well, so we can have that done. So Wednesday, I will be picking up some clamps from Ace,
Alright,
some stainless steel clamps, charging that to the town, so I can get the new screen put on, and we can meet all of our deficiencies.
okay.
Right
And
now,
have
the
that
new
wiped
screen
out.
is on the, drain pipes, is that right, Todd?
Yeah, the overflow
Or on
and the
ground?
vent,
Right, okay,
cause we already placed the cap
right.
and raised the underground tank lid. We raised that up already, and so that's already taken care of for deficiency wise. I just gotta get the screen. We finally got the screen in, and
Well, you're, what kind of screen are you getting, Todd?
it's stainless steel, 24 grit or grade. It's what
And are
state,
you just getting that locally? I'm just curious.
no, we had to order it. It came in already.
Okay, all right, okay,
It's a special screen that the state requires.
okay, all right, well, the reason I'm asking on the two vents, there in the kitchen at the community center,
Yeah,
we need to get a screen over the outside of them.
yeah, I've seen both them actual covers have gotten taken off. So yeah, they'll have enough screen, I could cover them as
All
well.
right, let's do that, you know, at whatever point, so we don't have the
The bugs.
birds and whatever in there.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
Okay.
Excellent.
Alright, and let's see, and then, we did get a letter from the state saying, you don't have a certified water operator, you know, they're just notifying us as a board that if you don't have one certified by,
when I was up there at a class and Tammy was there, I talked with Tammy and she says, yeah, we understand this
Yeah.
and we know what's going on, but,
That's right.
you know, since you are here already taking the exam for the first one and she already had me set up for the end of January test and stuff, so she said there's no issues right now.
yeah, but they have to notify us by law.
Right,
So I'm just letting the board know that we did receive that letter, but again, she stated that same thing to me, there's no concern. They know that we also work with, South Dakota Rural Water,
Mhm.
so, but it was just by law that they have to notify us. Then the report on the water loss, we had about, 10% water loss, we lost 23,000 gallons, still kind of that same
Part-
number.
part of that might be mainline.
Oh, what are they doing?
They replaced a culvert down here at the bridge that they're
Uh-huh.
replacing,
Yeah.
and they called me and asked me about using water.
Okay,
And they're supposed to give me a report back about how much they took out. They haven't
Okay,
done
good.
that yet,
I'll bill them too.
but they said they were gonna use it for the boring machine, for the
Awesome.
pipe and everything. And so I told them that, you know, take it out of the hydrant in front of the last chance
Alright, good.
and stuff.
They
So-
haven't been there, just an FYI.
They haven't been there?
I personally, I work right across the street.
Right, yeah,
Like,
well,
Yeah,
no one, the hydrant, you're talking about the one last chance, that one
Yeah.
that broke like 4 or 5 years
Yeah,
ago?
yep.
Yeah. No one's taken water out of there from 8 to 5.
well,
okay,
they'd be out there working during that time. I see them in town, so unless they're taking it from somewhere else then, cause I told them that hydrant.
okay.
But-
Alright, but that's what, it was about 10%, so it's still good.
Yeah.
Regardless. And then, instead of, you know, continuing to capture all the maintenance work on here, I just created a little list for you of
Okay.
some of the items we've been tracking, so that's what that is.
Okay.
There's some meters that need to be, fixed, there's a park yard hydrant.
Yep.
So there's just a small maintenance list that we're tracking instead of just littering up the agenda with it.
That's a
Good.
copy for me.
That copy is for you.
Okay.
Did they get the flow meter in, Todd?
Not yet, no.
Okay, all right,
I
okay.
have,
Yeah,
I've not heard nothing from them, to go to
I
pump.
talked to Jordan this week.
Okay,
He kinda lost sight of it, and then he was wondering why it wasn't in his warehouse, so now he has to go look for it. He's like, we thought we got it in, so he's looking for it.
well, he knows he got the 4-inch in, but we need the 3-inch.
Yeah, he
And so he's-
reordered the 3-inch.
Okay,
And
okay.
he lost sight that he reordered it, and he says, they got it in, but he's like, I'm not sure what's at, so they're going to figure out that whole thing. So
Okay, well,
I did talk to him.
as soon as he contacts me, we'll set up a time and and we'll get up there and get it replaced so we can give an accurate flow
Yeah.
rate.
Alright. Anything else? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, do we do, monthly expenses and financials?
We will, I just moved him to 12.
Oh, you
It was
just, oh, you
easier to
flip-flopped it. Okay.
Switch.
Notice.
Yeah. Cause that's what you said in your word, so I was like.
Oh, that's how I
let's do
worded it,
that.
okay, fair enough. I was like, well,
Okay, and then the last thing that I have a question for you, Todd. If you wouldn't mind managing trash cans, like if someone needs a new trash can or something like that.
Yep.
I've been doing it, but I don't have a truck, so it's kind of a pain to get it into my Honda.
Yeah.
Alright, thanks.
Do you need me to pick up the one on Dudley?
We picked it up.
Okay,
I picked it up, yeah. But
Okay.
that's when I realized, I was like, let me just ask Todd if he would take
Okay.
care of trash cans, so
Yep.
thank you.
I have a question that
Yes.
in regards to that, because I did this, which now I don't know if I was supposed to. One of my trash cans broke,
Okay,
and I just brought it down here and dropped it off and grabbed a new one and took
Okay.
it back,
okay.
because that's what
Was there,
Roger told me to do.
was
So-
there a new one there?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, okay, good.
or one that was,
Yeah.
better shape.
yeah, better shape. The wheel was on them, I honestly, it rolled, I didn't care, so.
That's
Is
perfectly
that what, we're
fine.
not supposed to do that?
Well, what we've done now is we're securing them in the building, the new trash cans, because they're
Okay.
kind of just disappearing. And so if you need your trash can plate,
I
it's
did one.
okay, it's all right. If you need your trash can replaced, just contact me or Todd or somebody, and we'll swap it out.
Okay.
But if you did that and it's out there,
I mean, it was like 6
Thank
months
you.
ago, it wasn't like
Oh,
yesterday,
yeah.
but
No,
I just, like,
we
I
didn't do
would-
it then. Yeah, you're good.
so, okay.
But thanks, yeah, thanks for taking care of that. Yeah, alright, road and streets. Steve, you said you needed 10 gallons of fuel, you need the cans filled back up.
Yeah, it's not a big rush right now,
Alright.
but they're both empty.
And then you have some maintenance items, what you got?
Well, first of all, I got the pile moved at Scott's, got it done.
Yep.
In the process of that, I found out where that truck was leaking antifreeze, and I left a message for Ray to find a mechanic to come look at it. Since that time, hasn't been run. I haven't run it at all. In fact, I took the snowplow back off from it. I pulled the cap off the top of a reservoir, and it was empty, so I filled it. I didn't hook it back up to see whether or not that plow was gonna work or not, but it's just sitting in there. I didn't hook it up because I thought if somebody come work on that truck, they might not wanna crawl over that plow.
Okay,
And then blading the roads, I couldn't find my snow glasses, and I had a little bit of a hard time seeing the edge of the road, so, but anyway, it worked out all right, so.
then with regards to blading the roads, I know I mentioned this to you, but if you could fix the snow route to include 2nd Street from Cedar, 2nd Street into Poplar. So fix the snow route to include, if you go down 2nd Street, that's the town's road all the way to Poplar, and then add that to your snow route.
So from here down?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay.
our road, just the county maintains it.
You know, mentioning that, when we looked at that map that's off,
Yeah.
I think there's a whole extra set of, lots, a whole extra block in that map.
Yeah, I already gave that to Helms to fix. Here's a good map right here. Yeah,
Well,
that
I
map
just-
is already, yeah.
I mean, if it comes to bidding on something,
No,
we're gonna look at
no.
that map and say there's a whole nother set of
Yeah, I gave
lots
it
in
to
there.
him today to fix, so, good catch. Yeah, but, yeah, from here, all the way down, and then to Poplar,
Okay,
yep. So if that changes anything on your snow clearing, then you can just let us know next
be a little
time.
bit more time to do it is all.
I'm not worried about that. Okay, good. Anything else?
Nothing I can think of.
Good. Anything in building maintenance?
Well, have we ever talked to the US Postal Department, whose responsibility is it to clean here where the post office?
I asked the gal that was filling, she said it's our responsibility to keep that cleaned.
Oh, really?
Yep,
Okay, all right.
came from the postmaster.
Which one?
Yeah.
Whichever one was here,
How long ago did you ask?
about 2 weeks ago.
There might be a new one.
Well-
That was the same one, I think.
Oh, it is the same
This,
one?
the other one was right after Thanksgiving, got let go. So I think she's been here for more than 2 weeks, the new one.
Okay.
Whoever was I talked to said that was our responsibility.
Okay.
Was it Stacy, the postmaster, that's been working in Buffalo Gap? Wow,
The one that's been filling our box.
I mean, the one, we used to take care of the post office.
Did we used to do that
Stacy.
at the post office?
No,
before?
They
No.
did that.
No, we did not do it, they did it themselves. They'd come through like Terry used to do, he'd come through and he'd plow
Yeah.
the parking area out there, but they shoveled the snow off the sidewalk and salted it and they did all that themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they rented
That
that
building.
entire property,
Right.
whereas this is town property, they're not renting it.
Right.
Why
So
are
my
they not renting
question,
it?
my question is, if
We don't
somebody
even know how
does
they got
fall,
there.
break a hip, who's responsible? Post office or the town?
That's
Not
another good
sure,
question.
cause we don't even have an agreement for that, so that's something that we're gonna have to work with the postmaster on.
You should fight that, because I heard a rumor that this is their permanent, according to Rapid, this is their permanent,
Fix.
plan.
Oh, thanks for the info.
There should
Someone
also
in
be an
Rapid said
agreement
that.
for that I made,
Uh-huh.
cause the
Did you
post
do
office
a
wanted.
memorandum of agreement?
There was a written copy given
Oh,
to
okay.
them, that they wanted permission to put those there and needed it from us. And the permission was given, cause at that time,
The other thing that this person said, when she told me that we had to take care of that the post office down there was never gonna open again.
Oh, I believe that, I mean,
So
That's
this is
beyond
gonna
our
be the
control.
yeah.
final go.
I'd agree with that.
That's what Rapid said.
So, alright,
Might have to find
let's
that lot.
see. So,
Building maintenance.
building maintenance, thank you, alright, we're done there, finance officer. So we have a new finance officer who was appointed, 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, thank you, Matt. His name's Matthew Tramp. So he's only been on board long enough to write about $70,000 worth of checks. So I will hand it over to him, and then Matt, announce your office hours, please. So he has the monthly expenses for this month.
Yep, so again, my name is Matt Tramp, known a couple of you guys, but, I am from Hot Springs. My office hours primarily are gonna be Wednesday mornings at 8 AM to noon. If you'd like to stop by to meet me and learn more about who I am, please do drop by, I would like that. And if there's another time that will work, do it, or call, and I'll chat with you on the phone, by way of introduction there. The report for this month was, the disbursement for the month is $70,940.72. I don't have a ton of information, I'm still getting on all of the accounts and signatures and all that fun stuff, which I think we're done with now, unless there's more that I
You'll have some.
haven't found. Okay, there's more, never mind.
Yeah.
So, any questions, we'll try to field there, so.
Then, in the bulk of that 70,000, we had a bill come in for Helms Engineering's $51,000. That, of course, will come out of the bond to loan, but we have to float that through general fund until the reimbursement happens. So that's the bulk of that.
Yeah.
And then we had a pretty big purchase in the park. Most was donation stuff. So. All right, and then also we got the, just for information, we got the binder for liability insurance for the town. To update, it's due back to South Dakota Public Assurance by February 6th. So I'll work with Matt to get this updated and then get this submitted back. If there's anything significant that changes, then it'll have to come to the board for approval before we send it back. So. All right, Community Center Committee.
Well, we haven't, decided when we're gonna start the breakfast again. It won't be December because we decided that December, everybody had enough stuff on their plate that we wouldn't do it in December, but January we will start it once a month and have a breakfast all summer long. And then, on that, we got a quote. Right now, it's just a quote, to put a bigger heater in the community center. And, that was basically, from, Fire and Ice out of Shadman for $6,000, labor, furnace, the whole shooting match. But my thinking on that, we're not going to buy a new furnace until we can pay for it cash. That's just, you know, cash works real good for me.
That's all we have. All we have is cash.
Okay, and then, the rodeo committee, or rodeo club is going to have a fundraiser the 11th, is that correct, John? 13th of this month. And then we have, some people that are going to rent it for a customer appreciation the 10th of January. So that's all I have for activities right now.
So with regards to the fundraiser, because it's December 13th, I'll put it in the meeting minutes, but the meeting minutes won't actually be published in the paper till next week, so it'll be past your date, so
Gotcha.
just letting you know.
Yeah. And I think you've already got signs up, John?
Yeah, posters out, but
Posters are, okay.
might have got the horse ahead of the cart, I don't know. We'll see.
Alright. Anything else there, Ray?
No, I think that's it for the community center.
Alright, park committee.
So at the last meeting I had, presented an estimate of $6,400 to have concrete poured in the park. And I am happy to say that we raised, actually $3,100. I've got a little more here I haven't looked at yet. And so if you notice in the park that the concrete's been poured, and he even knocked $200 off kind of as his appreciation for our town. And he also volunteered to come and do a few hours to help us out in, figuring out the gravel part of it and cleaning that up, so I thought that was nice. Yeah, so I've got a little bit more, I also have a receipt for you, somebody wrote a check out to me, so I just deposited it into the town's account and I have the receipt, so I'll drop that off.
Awesome, thank you.
So I thank everyone who donated and we'll be sending some thank you notes out.
I have your letters here to sign. Okay. Is that it?
That's it, yep, cause we're on hold now, it's winter.
When are they gonna do the striping? They gonna wait till spring?
Well, I don't think he's gonna do that. He didn't say anything about doing that, did he?
I don't remember.
Yeah, cause
You'd
he
mentioned-
was gonna put some glow in the dark stuff in there,
Yeah,
but,
he was saying at the last meeting, that's why I
Yeah.
was wondering, you know.
yeah, so that might be something we just have to do ourselves. But he said where they poured, there's like a natural crack, not a crack, but you know, a mark
Yeah.
where the free throw line would be, so, but we can paint that up.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Alright, board of trustees. I have not received any mail or complaints, other than, I take it back, I did receive, just a notice from a couple citizens that some roads, the road didn't get plowed, so I relayed that message. They weren't complaining or anything, it was just a notice. So other than that, I have not received any mail or complaints. I don't know if anyone else has anything from citizens this past month. And I don't expect to have any, meetings, any group events where we would all three be together in the next month between now and then. I hope everyone has a quiet Christmas, so I don't have any notice of meeting events to post. And then the open house event, we talked last month, so. But the board of trustees, anyone else have anything? Alright, okay, old business. So, proposal to open First, Cedar, and Poplar Streets. So, first I'm going to, hand this off to Travis to speak to, and then I have some additional information to present, once he's completed with his information.
Thank you much, Christine. So, anytime there's a desire for a new road to go in or anything of that nature, you should be doing a road feasibility study. There was a petition, for those who don't know, before Christine and I got on the board, there was a petition. It wasn't an official petition, but we took it serious. That's why it's on our old business and why we're navigating through it. There was a proposal to open First, Cedar, and Poplar Streets, putting in a truck route, Cedar to First and down First Street. So doing the road feasibility study, we think it's appropriate to set a special meeting to get the input from the town so that they can understand the whole impact of that. Just the initial 30,000 look, the road feasibility study is about $47,000. So it's important for the town to understand what they're gonna commit themselves to financially if they wanna go forward with opening the Cedar Street, First Street as a truck route, which was proposed before we came on board. So to include rights of way, the narrow right of way that goes right in front of your place there, Sarah, which would significantly impact you, because I believe yours is like a 20-foot right of way and they need an 80-foot. So I think it's important for the town to have a special meeting to hear everyone who was on that petition who felt that it was appropriate to say, let's do this, and everyone who's gonna be impacted so we can navigate through that. From the town's perspective, I'm gonna speak for myself, and I think Christine and maybe even Ray, that, you know, $47,000 just for the 30,000 foot level, and our take every year is how much? Our tax?
82,000 is our revenue.
So we're talking about
Half
over half of our revenue for 1 year just to do this initial study. Don't think it's financially feasible for the town, and we also know that the county is not very interested in taking it over, because if it's a truck route, it's gonna become a county road, and the county has already made it clear that they're not interested in it. So I think the town needs to be aware. The individuals, we need to do due diligence for the individuals that signed the petition for it, and then we can, sorry, that's my diabetes kicking in here, hold on. Let me turn my monitor off. I'm good. And so probably looking at February or March, because we're not gonna do it during the winter, but I think March timeframe, expect to see a special meeting for the town to be able to make comments about that particular road, so we can hear everything, see if there's any true desire for it, and then how we would navigate through that. So, any questions? Go ahead, Sarah. Yeah, go ahead.
I just was gonna say, like, having the meeting is not moving forward with the 40,000, right?
No, it's not moving forward.
Okay.
We would have a conversation, a frank conversation with the town and the community, specifically those that signed the petition. There's some big people that are obviously interested in it. We wanna understand where they're coming from, have the community who has to pay property taxes say, well, I don't know if it's, you know, worth me increasing my property taxes to cover the cost of this. So we want everybody's input so we can say, hey, who's it gonna impact, how's it gonna impact, and move forward appropriately. When you do something like this, you have to do a road feasibility study to get all the pros and the cons, and then the town makes the determination based
So
on it.
after the meeting, it could just be squashed.
That's correct, 100%.
Yeah, and then
I'm good, I was just asking if anybody else
the
had
piece of information that I came across in the vault here was that in 1927, 30 feet on each side of First Street, 30 feet of the road, 60 feet in total, was vacated to each property owner on each side. It even has the property owners' names in here, and so this is a copy of the register of deeds. So First Street is only 20 feet wide. So we do have that official copy here.
So that means I gotta cut 2 feet off the end of the blade
Yeah. So that is also a critical piece of information in this, because then it impacts structures and property around related to that road, the interstate. So, all right. Any other questions, discussion on First, Cedar, and Poplar Streets? No? Good. All right. The next item of business is. It'll be a public hearing for the Windcross Conservancy lease renewal. They have expressed interest in the renewal of the lease. Right now it's, I I guess, a year by year. It's not officially under lease. So this is the time to receive public comments, about the lease or the town's, agreement to enter into a lease with, Wayne Cross Conservancy. So this is the time to have
Well, I
that
think
discussion.
we had a discussion in the last meeting about, in this contract, if we wanna call it that or whatever, that somewhere in there it needs to be voiced that they will control the prairie dog.
So, yep, go ahead.
I personally would not,
Mhm.
and I understand they have no say in this, would not renew the lease until they made an effort. Like, I would put 60 days on it,
Mhm.
or whatever, because right now they can do Rosal, they can do fumotoxin, and it's the prime time to do it, there's no grass, not that they had any grass all summer because of the prairie dogs, is that they have to go out and do that
And at least
before we
make
even
an
consider
effort.
a lease.
Yeah.
Because
agree with you.
I know neighbors and are very irritated because they're trying to control their prairie dogs, and prairie dogs moved horribly this year. But they get away with a lot because, so that was in my state.
Thank you. So I did look into that when that comment was brought up. And unfortunately, that's their property, and that property is not the leased property. So it is in the lease that they have to maintain any type of population as long as it's on the leased property.
Then I
So-
would not renew the lease because the county can actually enforce you.
Mhm.
So if you have property and you have prairie dogs on it,
Yeah.
and you do not kill your prairie dogs, and your neighbors complain about you and call the county and say, hey, Christine needs to control her prairie dogs, blah, 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 blah. The
Yeah.
county will eventually come out and kill your prairie dogs, unless there's a lawsuit, which has happened in Edgemont, you can sue the county and say, you will not kill my prairie dogs,
Right.
and then it goes to court and that whole thing. Otherwise, they will come kill your prairie dogs, and then they will, make you pay for
Right.
whatever cost that
Cost, yep.
would have. I understand that the prairie dogs, but at the same time, it is under your guys' concession to either lease or not lease. Even though the prairie dogs have to be controlled on your property, it's still your property to control whether you lease that property or not. And the fact that they have never taken any opportunity to control their prairie dogs, you don't have to lease it.
Yeah, and so to further make this a more complicated issue is that the town doesn't have enforcement. We don't have, so what we have to do, what I mean by that is we don't have the ability to enforce.
Yes.
We don't have an ordinance that enforces that. So what, I know where you're going with this, so what I wanna share with you is that, this is something that we have to work with the county on, because they're the ones that have to enforce it. The town of Buffalo Gap, we have no ability to
Wouldn't be
enforce.
enforcement. So if I lease it, I have property,
Mhm.
and there's not even a contract in it that says that you must poison the prairie dog, that's part of your lease agreement. But you don't ever take care of the property. The enforcement is when we decide to sign a new lease,
Uh-huh.
you just don't sign it.
So,
I don't lease it to you.
yes, I see your point there, but what I mean by enforcement is we don't have the ability to go tell them that they have to
Then
take
I
care
just
of the
wouldn't
prairie
lease it to
dogs.
them.
And the prairie dogs aren't on the leased property.
Then that's fine. I just wouldn't lease them my
Okay.
property.
Yeah.
That would be my,
How much do you get for the property? What's the lease? How much
Right
you
now,
gonna
they
lease?
don't pay anything.
What is the town planning on leasing it for?
We have not come to an agreement on
Fuck a year.
No, it's not about.
that's not what the lease was initially.
so
It
my,
wasn't.
That wasn't what the initial lease, was not $1 a year. I don't recall the money, but it was not $1 a year. It was
It was like
significant,
$100.
yeah, it was $100 or something like that, it wasn't $1.
so I have a question. So right
Not much
now,
more than
if a horse gets sick on the city property, we'll say, eats a bush, whatever, gets bit by a rattlesnake on the city property, because they're not technically leasing it, is that going to come back because there's no agreement? Are their horses technically now, because like out of where they are technically supposed to be, like you could call the county sheriff right now at this point and say, these horses are trespassing, cause like if you're driving down the road and you see cows out or yada yada yada, you're like, hey, they need to be where they're supposed to be, and animals get out, and that's why South Dakota is pretty like, you're not a multi-offender. So my thing is, like right now, like if something happens to a horse on that property, is Buffalo Gap liable at all?
No, they do have to carry liability insurance.
Even on property that they are not leasing or own?
So now she did, when we had a meeting with them to have a discussion about the lease, she did say that they do carry liability insurance, so, whether they're on that property or not, they're carrying liability insurance, and she said they can plan to continue to carry that even into the lease, so.
And remember, we're coming into this after this wasn't being enforced
Yeah.
prior to us coming on board. We
No,
came on board
yeah.
in what, May? We came on board in
June.
June.
Yeah.
And so we've been working to try to get this in place to protect the town. So part of that is navigating through and then establishing the lease so that them being on that, they're not just getting it for free, they're actually having to pay for it. So we were working through that process we wanted to find out if she was even interested in it. It took about another month to figure that out once we actually had a conversation with them, say, do I even wanna release this moving forward? They talked about it and then they came back and said, yeah, I think we do wanna reconsider releasing the land.
So are horses on the property right now?
Off and on, from what I understand.
Okay,
From what I understand.
so there is an ability to cut the horses off of the property?
If we do not move forward with executing this lease, they will have a grace period to move the horses off the property if we choose not to move forward with the lease. And again, there's been no decision made to go forward, that's why we're having this public hearing. So that process won't go forward until after this public hearing.
How long has the lease been up? When did it expire?
22, 21, 22,
21 sounds right.
yeah.
It
It's been
hasn't
a
been in
while.
effect since 2021?
And I don't have, there's.
These are years, not weeks or months here.
That's
I
correct.
understand, and
Huh?
that's why we're trying to get something done about this now.
Yep.
This has been an ongoing issue for the town
Where
for
is
a
she?
while. Who?
The lady that wants to lease it, or,
Oh, I don't know, I can't speak for her, that's
right, but
why.
I'm just,
This is for y'all to make
This
public
is for
comments
public
about it.
comments, yeah.
This meeting is for y'all to make public comments.
Mhm.
And Sarah's making a good point, we don't have to establish a lease if she's got a critter problem and they're unwilling to mitigate that prior to signing a lease. I mean, that's why we're having this piece of the meeting, is to find out the citizens' concerns.
I would do personally, because once March hits, you can't, you can only fumatox prairie dogs. Like, you can no longer use Rosal or poison oak, stuff like that, like those are time frame things. Is, hey, you have till March, like, not sign a full year, like, I'm against a lease anyway, but I know I don't have a say in that, but I'm just saying,
I'm
like,
tracking what you're
like,
saying.
give her 3 months, like, we'll sign a 3-month lease.
Mhm.
You have to prove to me that, I understand it's on their private land, but the city owns the other land, and there's always concessions and give and take. You have 3 months till March, when you can't poison prairie dogs anymore, and then you're out gassing them, to prove that you are trying to do it, and then reevaluate it in March, to be like, you either did it or you didn't do it. So there's no, and I understand you can't enforce it, the county has to enforce that, but at the same time, there's always consequences.
Question, have there been any complaints to the county? Has the county been out here? I mean, I know they've been here since, we haven't been here in town for very long, but
There have been complaints to the county, I'm not going to sugarcoat the county's response time on that.
Okay.
You have to call a lot in order for the county to take action. Then you have the county come out, and the county actually measures how big your prairie dog town is. And then the county will come out and establish and be like, okay, it's gonna cost $600 to da-da-da-da-da. And they give you an opportunity to go pay that $600, because
Yep.
then and do it yourself. So this is not like a short thing.
you're right, I concur. My next question, if you don't mind, has there been any, mapping to show that the ones that are on their private land have gone off? And I'm just asking that question
I
purely.
don't even know if you can map that,
You can't map them.
because,
They move.
They
like
travel
a super-
miles.
they miles.
I mean,
I
I've seen
understand
them
that-
running on the railroad tracks.
I understand they move miles, but in Pennington County, whenever you had state land and then you had private ranchers, they do come out, and there was some work that was done that we forced our,
Forest
DNR to
Service
deal with
does
it.
the same thing.
So my question is, over here, there's gotta be
I don't
somebody who
think
can come out and
there
say that, hey, they're gradually growing, and it's because you're not managing your prairie dog.
I
town.
don't know if
Well,
there's
if
been.
nobody's complained, why would they send anybody out to look?
That's why I'm asking the question.
There's been
And
complaints.
they wouldn't do anything
Well,
because
again,
I
if
was
they
not.
haven't responded, but let's say not if no one's complained, let's say
Right.
they haven't responded, they have no information, so.
It's like a
And then
years.
if you aren't a
It's like a
land,
what?
It's
own
years.
land adjacent to that, you can complain all you want and they're not gonna do anything.
The county's not great at enforcing this.
Correct.
I'm just gonna,
Oh,
like,
sure.
that's the
No doubt.
brutal, honest truth.
I have a question, are you gonna advertise that property for lease?
Am I gonna advertise
In
it?
town,
That's,
are you gonna advertise it for lease?
I don't, we have not had that discussion.
Well, I mean, is this public meeting talking about it now?
No, this
or-
public meeting, what this hearing does talks about the town of Buffalo Gap entering into a lease agreement with Wind Cross Conservancy. That's the purpose of this hearing. If the board determines they wanna open that for lease, then we would have a separate hearing for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could potentially be to lease any of us, right?
If
I
the
mean,
board
they're not
determines.
specific, especially if they haven't had a lease since 2021.
Yeah, so
So
I
they're
don't,
basically
I don't
squatting on the
understand,
town's property up there?
I don't know the agreements that they've had with past, I don't know the agreements that they've had with the past board or the past finance officer. I have no information on that. I only have what I can find in documentation, so.
There must be a lease somewhere.
There, at this time, there's interest for Wayne Cross Conservancy to lease that property until 2030, so they'd like to have a 5-year lease. So this hearing is addressing that lease specifically. If at some other time the board wants to explore leasing that property out, then we would have a separate hearing for that.
So this is just to say we don't
You're
agree
only
with that
exploring
lease.
leasing it to her right
Okay.
now.
Okay.
Well, again, remember, the lease ended in
21 is
21.
what we think.
Previous didn't do anything, and they've allowed them to do something. We just wanna get something in place. If they're having something there, we wanna collect some revenue for it, cause they're on the town property.
Yeah.
The only way to do that is to put them back into a lease. Now, moving forward, if there's interest in that particular land, and people say, well, wait a minute, maybe this entity or this entity would like to lease that land, then we change and we say, okay, let's put it up for a bid. I mean, that is something that the board absolutely can do.
Yeah.
We're just trying to say, look, it wasn't taken care of since 2021, we got on here in 2025, we're trying to fix some of the problems that were left open so that the town can either A, collect revenue or shore up some of the open, windows that we had, so that we're not wasting all of our energy because we're trying to heat a house with all the windows open.
Okay, so I guess, I know I don't have any say, I would say, no, do not sign the lease.
I have a quick question. Did she ever come to the board and want to renew the lease, knowing
Yes.
that it was
See, where-
over with? And is she willing to pay the back lease that
So.
she's been there for
there's-
how many years?
I found in board meeting minutes, and I was at boards where she came to the board, and there were discussions about entering back into a lease. There was some trouble finding the old lease, according to what the meeting minutes said, so
I'll give you
I
two
can't
things.
go back in time, I can only go forward.
But I mean, to anybody's recollection, was she here to try to get that
Yes.
really, okay.
She was, and it's in meeting minute notes that
Now, is she
was
willing
here.
to pay the back lease? That since she's
That
been
would- that would-
occupying it?
That would be extremely difficult to enforce, because we weren't on the board at the time, we didn't make that verbal agreement with her to continue to use it, so that would be very
I have a
difficult.
question, how come she isn't here
Yeah.
tonight?
I can't speak for her, I don't know.
So we can just say, we do not want the lease to go forward, and we would like you guys to do a meeting to publicly offer it.
Okay.
Is that right?
Sure, you can, yeah, you're welcome to say that, to offer the,
And then if it goes forward and she does, nobody else is interested in it, we'll say, then go forward, and then we would have another meeting, and then we would discuss the prairie dog thing.
To me,
We wouldn't specifically discuss the prairie dog. What we would have to do is work with the county on that.
So I guess
Because
then
I don't
going forward,
prairie dogs
I,
are no
authority to
prairie
do
dogs.
that.
I am not in favor for
Okay,
being
good.
even able to lease it.
Alright.
Cause the prairie dog, this is not like, this didn't happen yesterday.
Oh, I understand.
Like, it wasn't like,
They moved in.
Okay, let's move
If it was
forward.
violent, I'd drive out there and pop them, but it's me.
even shoot them,
I
something.
got a good one. Target practice.
That's what I'm thinking. Target practice.
Alright, any other comments on the leaves? Alright. Thank you for your comments.
Lots of good insight, input, I appreciate it.
Alright, next item of business is the water construction phase 2. So today we opened bids, and we received 10 bids on phase 2. The bids ranged from low at $437,000, I'm just rounding for sake of conversation, to about 1.2 million. So there was a wide range in the bids. The low bid was to Black River out of Somerset, South Dakota. At this time, this is just a tentative award based on the bid. There still has to be further review of the bid documentation before the actual award notice. So this is just a tentative bid, and so that's where we are with these two. Yes.
Who actually reviews the bids and administers the contracts?
So, Helms Engineering is the project manager for the water construction phase 2, and they're at this time right now reviewing all of the bids, specifically the low bid, because they have to make sure that it meets market value and the quantities match and all that good stuff.
So the engineering firm reviews the bids and administers the contract.
Exactly.
And make sure it meets all the required, that they're not shortchanging us or anything of that nature to get it and then say, oh, we're overrunning.
We're not the ones sitting here going, this is a good deal.
That's right, yeah, so,
Okay.
yeah, and they did really good on our first project, so, I'll trust their abilities in this one. So, alright. And that is scheduled to begin in just spring 2026. I have no date, 4 to 6 months, but he said spring, so. Alright, water outage communication plan is not until January, and then, item number 20, ordinance, 2025-04 is the utility ordinance, so. I know this says second reading on the agenda, it was gonna be the second reading, but this will be the first reading of the revised ordinance, so we sent it off to the attorneys. They found some items in there, particularly we had some language in there that we could place liens on properties for failure to pay water bills. And in fact, that is not an enforceable action, it's really not even a lawful action. So we had to remove that from the ordinance. And then they also mitigated the risk in the ordinance to make sure that the town's liability was very low. So they did a lot of rewording, so basically we'll just do a new first reading of this ordinance tonight, and we'll just go through that process again, but they did put together a very solid ordinance for us. And for the first reading, I'm only required to read the title, so that is what I'll do to save you the 10 pages. So ordinance 2025-04, an ordinance entitled Utility Services in the Town of Buffalo Gap, be it ordained by the Board of Trustees of the Town of Buffalo Gap, County of Custer, State of South Dakota. The ordinance is available for view on the bulletin board at the community center, and if anybody would like to view it by email, it'll also be posted in the paper. By email, you can contact me and I'll be happy to send that to you.
I just have one question.
Yes.
And Todd, this is a question to you. Do we have a water meter that we can put on a hydrant?
We do not have,
And the reason why I ask that question is, is there such a thing?
yes, there is.
Because it does talk about if anybody connects to a hydrant and utilizes
That was
it.
changed.
And the one thing that we do have, somebody using the hydrant is the railroad. We know they're
Yep.
using it. I've been in communication with the railroad so that they can't continue to use it without letting us know. And Jeff Blanchard and I have had some conversation. And he said, just tell me what we need to do, and we'll make sure we guys, let you guys know, so that they're not running it without us knowing that they're doing that. So, can we look at and find out what a cost of one of those is?
At the water class, they brought up this instance of this, that construction crews came in and used the water, and they'll come in and they'll close that hydrant down fast, which will cause a slam in your
Yep.
water, and it can break your lines.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they don't realize it, they don't have to come fix it, you have to come and fix it.
Yep.
So they said there is a way to meter them to where they can leave that hydrant open and have a valve right there that they can blow, and it'll have a meter on it, so that it's billing for billable water that way. And then, that way they're not opening and closing that hydrant.
Okay,
Don't they have one of them down at the fire hall type?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
I haven't been in there in years, so I don't know. But that is something we definitely should look into and have it as a designated hydrant, that if someone is gonna come get water, that they use that hydrant only.
That's a good idea, yeah.
if you'll find out what that would cost for us and whatnot, that'd be great.
I will research it.
And then I'll reach back out to Jeff if y'all don't have a problem with that, and let him know moving forward, they need to let us know, they can't just open them up, there's some water safety aspects of it and procedures that they have to reach out to us. Can I give them your number?
Yes,
Ty?
ma'am.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks for bringing that, I forgot about the hydrants, I read it, just forgot about it. Alright. Any other discussions on that? Alright, new business, liquor license for the Buffalo Gap Rodeo Club.
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
I would second it, but what is it asking for it for how long or?
One day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, that's, and so
Isn't that
it's
correct, John?
December 13th, right?
Yep.
So I typically don't know what what you guys typically do with the town to get those, I looked through the files, I couldn't find any history, I know you've done it before.
There used to be an application.
Yeah, so I couldn't find where it was filled, cause last year I know you did one, and I
I
couldn't find
can't
the application.
remember, did we pay $40 to the town?
It's $5, the ordinance is $5 right now,
That's the same
that'll be
with the
changing.
county.
It's a really old ordinance too. So, but in the future, what I would ask is that you guys give us, more of a heads up, like, at least the meeting before, like November, October meeting, if you're gonna do it in December, give us
I
at
do
least-
appreciate it, I know
least
that,
1
but
month,
this was
yeah.
kinda last minute
That's
decided
okay.
to try and raise some money for the youth activities up there, and new bleachers and a little arena, and
Okay,
so.
yeah, and then, on Wednesday, if someone can stop by and I'll get Matt that application and then pay your $5 on Wednesday and we'll give you a copy of that, that way you'll have it.
So
And
when
are
are
you-
you open? Eight to,
8 to noon Wednesdays?
okay.
And are you doing malt and wine or malt, wine and liquor?
Malt wine and liquor.
Alright.
Gotta have them all if you're gonna do a good fundraiser.
Right, okay. And the last item of new business is the supplemental budget appropriations ordinance, and what this one is for is the donations that we received, to the park committee for the concrete, so ordinance 2025-05, and ordinance to supplementarily appropriate funds, be it ordained by the town of Buffalo Gap for the town of Buffalo Gap, County of Custer, South Dakota, that the following sum is supplementally appropriated to meet the obligations of the municipality and comply with SDCL 9-21-7, whereas the town of Buffalo Gap has received additional funds in the amount of $3,100 in the general funds for contributions and donations that were not anticipated in the annual budget.
I would move to approve the ordinance.
Oh, I just received another $50 donation today, so can that be amended to $3,150?
Okay, so, whereas the town of Buffalo Gap has received additional funds of $3,150 in the general fund.
My motion would be to approve ordinance 2025-05 as amended.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Let's go back and revisit the liquor license. We definitely made a motion, but we didn't vote, so the liquor license for Buffalo Gap Rodeo Club.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Alright, public time. This is time for citizens to discuss issues of concerns for the town of Buffalo Gap directly to the Board of Trustees. The amount of time for discussion or presentations can be limited by the president of the board. Individuals shall refrain from discussing personalities. No action will be taken by the Board of Trustees without first being placed on a future agenda. Anyone have anything for public time?
I know I talked to the contractor and I know we don't own the bridge at all out there.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
Yeah, you're not plowing. Like, can we put a complaint in, because they come through Buffalo Gap to Custer County,
Mhm.
that they need to plow their detour?
From what I heard from, what's his name, from Pennington County, or not Pennington, Custer County, they said they were gonna be in charge of,
I know.
all snow removal and
Yep.
maintenance.
Which I'm
on
not
the
saying
road.
that we do it, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, can we put a complaint in because
Not,
they don't?
not with us,
Not with
but
the town.
this is the.
No, I have all that,
Oh, you
and
do?
I've already
Okay.
complained.
Oh,
I
got
just,
it, yeah.
like, cause I know it could, like, the detour goes through town, I didn't know if Buffalo Gap itself could put another complaint into the county saying, hey, plow the stupid detour,
Okay.
Well, that-
Plow the detour.
No,
plow the detour.
no,
They-
that
that's
would-
two separate counties.
No,
You mean that
Custer
snows?
County, even though it goes into Fall River County.
Yeah.
Custer County, because it is a Custer County road,
Yeah.
has to maintain the
That would
detour.
be Custer
Oh.
County.
So
yes.
Custer
He
County,
said-
And that
even
was
though
talked
the detour-
about, John and I talked to
I
The
know.
road
Mr.
super, Custer
Mr.
Road,
Doyle.
Custer
about
County
that.
Road Superintendent said he will maintain the Fall River.
Yes, the detour, I just was wondering, cause I've complained, cause when we got that little bit of snow, they didn't plow.
I don't think they'll do town. He said they do the county road all the way around.
But they didn't.
Yeah.
That's why I'm just wondering, because they didn't
Yeah.
maintain the detour, and I kinda got laughed at when I said, hey, you didn't do the detour, because
I haven't been taking it, so I don't know.
I know, yeah, that's just unfair. Wait till a semi of corn comes across there, Tyler. Anyway, because
50-something cars turned around my driveway last week,
yeah,
so.
so because they didn't maintain the hill, and now, like, at this point, it's not a big deal,
Right.
because the snow melted. But there was a time where that hill, I don't know if any of you guys have ever taken a drive out there
Mhm. Yeah.
and went down that, and having grown up out there, once that turns to ice and if it stays cold, you're done.
Right.
Right.
Like, there's no, like, backpedaling and doing that. Once the snow packs, it's ice, all this stuff. I've already complained because they didn't plow it with the snow that we already got. Now it's fine, and I didn't know if we could put in, like, as a town, because that does affect our traffic, theoretically,
Mhm.
put a complaint in and say, like, hey, you guys didn't do it last time.
They're not gonna do it.
I know,
The road superintendent said they don't plow unless it's 4 inches plus.
I know.
And I told him at the meeting that hill does get,
I mean,
Slow back.
And I was standing with you, John.
they only had only one car I seen slid off into the railroad track.
Yeah.
You know, you lead a horse to water, but you
I just
can't
didn't know
lead
if the town could be like, hey, you guys need.
When is the bridge supposed to be done?
3 months.
3 months?
Okay,
Well, they're damn
no
road,
executive
so
session,
it
and,
put 'em behind a little
the
bit.
next monthly meeting will be January 5th, here in Deal Bank, 6 p.m.
Move to adjourn?
About 3 feet up.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
You wanna adjourn the meeting?
Yes.
Say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
You want to?
Water back out the hole and
That happened today.
What?
That happened today.
Oh, they're damn broke Sunday morning.
Well, I
They
said
were
all along
diverting
that they
water.
should have
Yeah.